So in today's video, I'm going to answer another business phone services question, and today's question is, what do you think of Kall8? And I actually have a blog post. I'm going to do a split screen video here, so you should be able to see me answering your question, and then I'm going to reference stuff that's on the screen. You'll also be able to see my screen at the same time. So I have a blog post that I wrote. I've been a Kall8 customer for a long time. There's a specific reason why I don't recommend Kall8 as a virtual business phone service provider to most people, especially if they're newbies. And that's because it's not that there's anything wrong with their service. The service is great, but their back-end interface, like your control panel that you get as a customer, is just a little bit antiquated. So when you compare that to, say, Grasshopper or phone.com or a couple other services that I'm going to talk about in this blog post, it's the same price, if not a little bit cheaper, to go with some of the other providers. And I've tried geez, Lord knows how many of them. I really stick with 3 to 4. Usually, I don't think I have a subscription to more than 5 different accounts right now. But the main thing with Kall8 is the service is great. And don't get me wrong, I still have numbers there. I just don't buy any new numbers at Kall8 anymore. Just the other services are a little bit more up to date. I like some of the features. Like to do lead gen and stuff like that, or to do local SEO. Some of the features on phone.com are a lot easier to use than on Kall8. So for example, if I wanted to set up a virtual voicemail and then I wanted to have those voicemails transcribed and emailed to a specific location or multiple locations, it's a lot easier to do that with the phone.com system. Actually logging into the control panel, I can show you, but most people don't want to do stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is tell you about my experience with Kall8, which has been very good. The only time I've ever had an issue, I think you can look here, I have a Kall8 review. I don't know, maybe I just maybe I don't mention it in this post at all. Anyway, the only issue that I've ever had with Kall8 is when my credit card expired. They automatically stop allowing you to receive calls. It would be cool if they had a grace period for that. I kind of got pissed off when that happened, but that was a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. So I still keep 2 numbers with them because I'm too lazy to port them out over to another provider. They works just fine. I haven't bought any of my new numbers there for, probably almost 3 years. And I don't recommend other people use Kall8 that want a cheap virtual number. If you just want actually, let's go to the alternatives for Kall8 virtual phone system. A couple people I think want to know what's the difference between Kall8 and ringcentral, or why should I use Grasshopper over Kall8, or when should I use phone.com, yada yada yada. It can get super confusing, so let's keep it real simple. There's 2 camps of users. I separate everyone into 2 camps. So there's the guy who has a business on the side, or the guy that has a location independent business, or the people that have e-commerce stores or things like that, that's never going to rely on a retail location, and they just want to get a business line on their cell phone. Grasshopper is a great fit for that. It's like $10 a month starting. They'll give you the free little soft phone, that's next, smartphone app that goes on your mobile device, and then you can differentiate between personal and business calls, do the business SMS, all that stuff. So I'm going to put links to this stuff below the video, but I'd highly recommend you go check out the blog post that you see on the other screen in the video, because you'll get a couple other details that maybe I forgot to mention here, because I want to keep this short. I try to do in-depth videos and stuff, but after about 5 minutes, people get bored and, yada, yada, yada. If you have any other questions, though, don't comment on YouTube, because there's so many trolls. I don't answer questions on there anymore. If you go to the associated blog post, like this one, on my blog, cleverleverage.com, just use the comment system below. Within 72 hours, I usually respond and I'll help you out. And if I need to, I'll make another video just for you if you have a specific case, because most likely it will help a lot of other people. So let's talk about my favorite alternatives to Kall8. And then again, this isn't to bash Kall8. I'm still a customer there. I just don't think, I don't think it's the best solution nowadays. Maybe 5 years ago, but there's too many other companies that do it better and for cheaper. And by cheaper, it's negligible. We're talking about a couple bucks a month. All of these services are under $50 a month. None of them are on a contractual basis like a landline provider. If you don't like it, you just cancel at any time. There's literally no risk. So, okay, let's talk about these 2 camps of people so that you can decide which alternative is the best for you. So basically, I divide people into those who want to add a business line to their smartphone, and those who want to have an office desk phone that actually plugs into an Ethernet cord, right? And then you can pick up and have on your desk. So those are 2 very different things. The reason why they're 2 very different things is a business VOIP provider that is designed to replace a landline provider has a lot more back-end features, is usually more expensive, and it has a lot of other capabilities that the average small business owner doesn't need in this day and age. Most people are doing just fine with just adding a business line to their cell phone and using a number forwarding service like Grasshopper. The trouble comes when those people graduate or they want something else and they want to add an office desk phone, or they want to do this or they want to do that. Probably 70-something% of the time, I'm just thinking like all of the people that I know that have used these services, using the services myself, probably almost all of the time, people are super satisfied with a number forwarding service like Grasshopper. Usually they know up front if they're going to want to support a retail location, if they're going to do like, some sort of construction business where they have a warehouse over here and they might have a showroom over here. That's very different. I wouldn't use either one of those services. I would go with somebody like RingCentral. That's why I suggest you take a look at the blog post that is up on the screen here that I'm glancing at. I wrote this post pretty recently in response to a question about, do I think Kall8 is a good alternative to some other company? And it turns out that while the service is okay, for that person's particular situation, I didn't recommend any of those, especially not Kall8. I recommended RingCentral, and the reason why is because they wanted multi-line phone support. For some reason, I can't talk today. I'm missing my water. They wanted multi-line phone support, so they wanted to have multiple devices with different extensions ringing to different numbers, and they also wanted to support 2 locations. Now, RingCentral has a platform called RingCentral Office that does that a lot better. Now, the drawback to that is most people don't want to do that, and they'll never need to do that. So while Grasshopper is like $10 a month or $12, $15, whatever, don't quote me on this. Actually, I forgot about that too. I'll put a discount link. Sometimes these guys have promotions, and I think there's a 15% off one for one of them right now. I'll put it in the link in the YouTube description. So if you're looking for a deal or something, just check that out. But there's no reason for somebody to pay $35 or $40 a month or $50 a month for a complicated RingCentral service when a Grasshopper service will do just fine. So that's why I typically separate into 2 camps, and I'm always referencing this. Some people probably get annoyed by the fact that I repeat the same things over and over, but it really is this simple. If you want a business line on your cell phone, go with Grasshopper or phone.com. If you want to support multiple offices, do multi-line extensions and all this kind of stuff, go with a company like RingCentral. If you want a happy medium, go with phone.com. Phone.com will do everything that Grasshopper has or does. It has the free smartphone app, has a soft phone app, all this kind of stuff. It's still like $10 or $15 a month, so it's in the same price range. But they will allow you to lease a phone, like phone hardware for them, or from them rather, for like, I think they start at $12 or $15 a month to get a phone on your desk. And the reason why you would want to go with phone.com if you're looking for middle of the road there is because Grasshopper does not support phone adapters and they don't support physical phone hardware. So it's strictly a BYOD service. BYOD means bring your own device. So you already have to have like a cell phone or a landline or something to forward that business line to. That works perfectly for most people, but again, Grasshopper for number forwarding service, phone.com for middle of the road, RingCentral for multiple locations, multi-line support. So if you have any other questions, go to this blog post, cleverleverage.com, Kall8 Reviews and Alternatives, ask in the comment system, and I'll help you out.